I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Spot Show Livestream. I am Ronald Ray, your boy with a cornbread accent. Appreciate you folks tuning in. As you've seen at the top there, if you tuned in there, lost a couple of pros this past week. One being, crap, what's wrong with my mouse today? One being Francisco Ciazzo. He's the mainstay in the Southeast Independents. I think he had a few little shots here and there with the WWE as either enhancement talent or extra. Passed away at 45 years old. Seen him at Southern Fried Wrestling in Monroe, Georgia. Dude was an excellent heel. He knew how to get heat from a crowd, and knew how to go in the ring. So that's a pretty sad loss there. Another guy who had some mainstream success in the late 90s, and that's been Harold Ice Train Hodge. He was in WCW. Didn't really become a big star. Probably one of those guys who, if there were still the territories at the time, might have made a bigger name for himself. But he came in WCW, especially that his second time around. Teamed up with Scott Norton, two big, huge horses. That's all I can say about it. Then he was managed by Teddy Long at the same time. But that was during the time where Hogan was there. Then that was bringing in Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, the whole NWO. So he pretty much got lost in the shuffle. But do seem like he had potential, but never really do anything as far as statewide. In Germany and Austria, the Promotion Catch Wrestling Association, he did get some success there. As I was reading along and doing some research about him, he was their main champion for a short time, but yeah, still had a job there. Basically, WCW, Catch Wrestling, that's the two biggest ones I've seen there. But yes, two sad losses there. Thoughts go out to the family and friends of those two guys. Let's see. One other thing I really don't want to talk about, but I'm just going to keep this short and sweet. Apparently, Vince McMahon has got some trouble again, I guess. Some accusations. Apparently, there's some text messages also involved. A sex trafficking ring, and some woman, uh, accused him of, sexual misconduct. Of course, this is 4 years after the fact, and he was not, no criminal charges, just a lawsuit. Uh, take that as you will. Like I said, if you're looking for any kind of virtue signaling from me, believe her type crap or what, I'm just going to, until that gavel falls and they say these people are guilty, then I'll say good, let's put them in jail. But this is a lawsuit and it involves money. Take that as you will. But apparently there's supposedly some text messages here. Can't really see if I blow it up here. I guess you can find it on Twitter. But like I said, I'm not going to dwell too far into this situation. Let me see. Go back. The woman's name is Janelle Grant. She was an ex-WWE employee. She initiated, legal proceedings against Vince McMahon alleging sexual misconduct, exploitation. Uh, Supposedly, she coerced Grant in sexual activities uh, in exchange for career benefits. Uh, uh, she did she did sign a non-disclosure agreement back in 2022. Again, uh, usually with those agreements comes a check or a series of checks. Supposed to pay her $3 million. Whether she got it all or not, who knows? Lawsuit also alleges the man breached the terms of his agreement. What was his terms? She's the one who brought it up. She's the one that disclosed it, or somebody disclosed it. Um, but she's won some more money. Basically, that's what it sounds like. And there's some accusations of uh, sexual, sex trafficking. Um, like I said, take that as you will. I guess you can go to Twitter, go on WrestlingNewsSource.com. It has the full story. Uh, I seen here he has made a public statement uh, and response to the lawsuit. Businessman spokesperson told Deadline this lawsuit is replete with lies, obscene, made up instances that never happened, and a vindictive distortion of the truth. He will vigorously defend himself. Um, Additionally, the parent company now, like I said, Vince don't own WWE no more. It's part of the TKO Endeavor deal. That's the parent company now. Uh, Vince McMahon still holds the position of executive chairman, but again, it's not his company. They will look into it. Uh, Mr. McMahon does not control TKO, nor does he oversees the day-to-day operations of WWE. While this matter predates our TKO executive team's tenure of the company, we take Miss Grant's horrific allegations very seriously and are addressing this matter internally. So again, like I said, until he's proven guilty, until these people are, if you were abused, whatever, women, go to authorities. Let's put these people in jail. Don't wait. Don't sign no NDA. Straight to authorities. Um, because me personally, like I say, if you're looking for virtue signaling and stuff like that, in anything where it comes race issues or stuff like this, you're not gonna get it here. Uh, but and especially when there's money involved, it kind of makes me scratch my head. So, uh, and she did sign an NDA, and of course, it depends. I guess nowadays depends on who you are. Uh, they either matter or not. I mean, there's supposedly a uh, LeBron James. He likes to have parties at his house, but before you enter his house to party, there's a lawyer sitting right there, wanting you, telling you to sign NDA to get in the door. So, like I said, take that as you will. Uh, I just, I, me personally, let's let the case settle until we make any kind of judgments. Of course, everybody's going to have their opinion, but uh, like I said, I'm choosing to wait till the dust settles and the case is officially closed. So, like I said, don't want to spend too much time on it. That's all the time I'm going to spend on it until, like I said, that final gavel uh, and that verdict gets reached. Then we'll visit again. Um, but like I said, there's social media. Uh, all the virtue signalers, and I get it. You kind of want to believe people, but again, there's money involved. Like I said, I'm not. Whatever happened, happened. Uh, my opinion is, yeah, they probably had an affair, and that's what a lot of rich dudes do, especially nowadays, or past God knows how many years. They have an affair. They're married. They don't want the wife to find out. So hey, honey, we're done. Sign this. Here's some money. See ya. They sign. They take the money, and they keep their mouth shut. And that's what's supposed to happen. Um, but obviously she's want more money, I guess. Uh, Definitely not want to have him in bars and where you know the potential. She rather take money than have a guy spend a long time behind bars where he'll have no more victims. So, like I said, uh, let's put a bow on that one. Next subject. A little bit happier news. Earlier during the week for the WWE, apparently they signed a deal with Netflix. Um, yeah, this happened 2 years ago. Well, she signed an NDA 2 years ago. The incident happened in 2020 or 2021. Anyway, like I said, happier news uh, for WWE anyway. They're signed a deal with Netflix. Once I think their contract with the USA Network, it stops. I think in October of 2020 of this year, 2024, and then come January 2025, it's to Netflix, and reportedly it's 10 years, $5 billion. Billion with a B. That's five, three zeros, three more zeros, three more zeros. Decimal point 00. That's a lot of zeros on that check. Um, but let's see. Article here. Netflix has struck a monumental $5 billion agreement to broadcast World Wrestling Entertainment's premiere show, Raw, over the next 10 years, marking the company's most significant venture into live event streaming to date. Remember, they had their own network at one time. Um, Despite Netflix executives previously downplaying interest in live sports broadcasting, this move comes as other streaming giants like Apple and Amazon begin to showcase professional sports, aiming to boost their subscriber base. Uh, Set to commence in January 2025, this arrangement will greatly enhance Netflix's capabilities into streaming live sports events. WWE's shift from USA, where it is currently ranked the highest rated show for USA, to Netflix underscores the ongoing financial challenges faced by traditional cable TV providers amid a growing consumer preference for streaming platforms. And as far as streaming platforms, since there's so many, that bubble kind of did burst. But I will say, I think Netflix, when the dust settles, Netflix, obviously, I think I know YouTube's not appealing thing, I guess, as a streaming service, but they do have a premium package where you can go in there and watch movies commercial free and watch all your content, amateur content or professional YouTuber content uh, without commercials and whatnot. But YouTube will stick around. Amazon, only reason Amazon will probably stick around will be because uh, it's just a minor part of what they do. As long as they don't quit spending, wasting money and Rings of Power, which did not do well for them. As far as any of the new ones, I can see potential in Max kind of sticking around. They got pretty good stuff on their streaming platform, but Disney Plus, I've always heard kept losing money. This Paramount not doing too good either. Was some of the other ones that struck up. Some of these things that popped up and vanished very quickly. Let's see. Let's look at the chat. What we got here? Uh, let's see. I guess she's talking. Peter Red is talking about Vince McMahon. Why does it look like he gets Botox? Well, he's like mid 70s. I forgot how old he is. He's just old. I think it's years of other plastic surgery. He might get Botox, but uh, the dude is old. He just looks old to me. And yes, money still talks, but we will see. I done answer Joe. Yeah, see, Peacock, it's not really making any money. Um, and that, oh, I think so far it's just Netflix is doing Raw, so I think Peacock will still get the premium live events and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure if Raw does well on Netflix and Peacock kind of gets shelved, I'm pretty sure Netflix will uh, be more than happy to take on the rest of their content. Maybe um, that's a that's just a wait and see type deal. But uh, see, Netflix, I don't know how much it is, but they do have a tier where it's, it costs less, but you will have to watch commercials. But if you get the Netflix, I guess the premium Netflix, you will you can watch Raw commercial free, which will be anybody knows me knows I hate commercials. Especially movies. I mean, I don't mean to digress, even though I do it often. That's my thing. I digress. Uh, Especially watching movies on like regular TV. I used to hate. Not only do they cut parts out of it out, like the language and stuff like that, but commercials is like you get interested, something's about to happen, then boom, commercial. Or if you done seen the movie without the commercials, seen it in theaters or whatever, and try to watch it on regular TV, uh, commercials. Can't stand commercials. Um, yeah, Peacock's got that too. And yes, I have the Peacock with no commercials. I pay that extra. I I have to do the numbers again because I pay for Peacock by the year. Um, because I used to do Disney that way. Long story short, I thought I canceled the Disney and was going to have Peacock, but I got a notification. Hey, thank you for dropping another $140 for the year of Disney Plus. And I ain't really watched anything on it for a while. They've kind of some of the like the Marvel shows like Falcon Winter Soldier. I looked forward to that, and that was blah. Loki was mid at best. Um, WandaVision was okay. I mean, it was kind of entertaining at first when they had the like she went back to the old like sitcom settings, you know, during the decades. But um, but that kind of fizzled out. I haven't even seen. I think the last Marvel movie I did see was um Doctor Strange. The what was it? Doctor Strange 2. Who cares? I watched that and that was crap. But yeah, Peacock does have a thing where you get lower or maybe free, maybe not free, but you have to watch commercials. But Netflix has the same thing. See when that streaming bubble burst, that's when Netflix Peacock was already doing it, uh, but Netflix started to. I think Hulu always done it as well. I think Hulu will stick around. Um, but I mean, like I said, the only reason Prime I think will stick around because they got their own. It's kind of like Walmart. They make their money off selling shit. uh, I mean, streaming is just they just have it, and people pay for it because it's part of the package where people get like 2 or free 1 or 2 day delivery. I mean, works great if order from Amazon a lot, like I do. 'Cause I'll buy stuff in bulk, like body wash, deodorant, toothpaste, Monster Mean Bean energy drinks. I buy that in bulk. But yeah, so it's gonna be. So yes, this you don't have to miss Raw no more. This you know uh watch it with commercials. Oh me. Let's see, what else can we talk about today? But yeah, I mean it's because I mean Amazon does carry NFL games. I know. Well, it's YouTube TV. I knew somebody I used to work with. He was a NBA fan, so he would get uh just on during the course of the NBA season, he will pay for YouTube TV. Um, it seems, yeah, I think didn't Peacock show game or NFL games as well, but Peacock's owned by NBC though. Um, but yeah, you might see. I mean, I don't know how long like Fox and all these other people's got contracts with the NFL, but I can see Amazon, you know, ready dump truck pulls. I mean, multiple dump truck pulls full of cash for the NFL. Uh, Maybe these others would try and pick up on NBA. Uh, I mean, I think they. Excuse me. I mean, I know. I think I seen Prime one time advertise a soccer game, but I don't know if it was MLS, Major League Soccer. But yeah, see, I really don't pay attention to a lot what's on there. I'm only mainly do the streaming for movies. Excuse me. For the movies, not much for the original broadcast. I mean, I watched the first season of Reacher. I haven't watched season 2 of Reacher yet. As far as Peacock, I've been watching. It's an older show. It's called Las Vegas. It's pretty decent. Uh, and of course, Peacock. I did finally watch commercial free the complete series of Two and a Half Men. I could have done without the what was the last 2 seasons with Ashton Kutcher, and but I definitely watch them all and got to see how it ended. Commercial free because I can't stand commercials. Anyway, that's enough about Raw becoming $5 billion richer. Gosh, I just want. I'll take half a billion. Okay, I don't. I'm not even worth a half a billion. Anyway, next subject here we got some unfortunate news for Seth Rollins. Yes, Seth Rollins did reveal the results of his MRI, confirming he has 2 tears in the MCL and a partially torn medial meniscus in his knee, and that's don't sound good, is it? It is going to. I think it's going to require surgery, which will sideline him for 3 or 4 months. But during the opening Raw, he got on there and he vowed to, you know, enter WrestleMania as the World Heavyweight Champion and leave as World Heavyweight Champion. In the little promo he had um, with Gunther, and I ain't seen Twisted Metal, I heard it was pretty good, but I haven't watched it yet. Of course, I've heard it wasn't that good. I don't know. It's been mixed. Everything's kind of mixed. Some things can be like really good, and some things be really horrible. That's one of those. That's one of the. Some people is like okay, but or it's okay, but I do really like this. So I've always it's kind of just an okay type deal. But but yeah, Seth Rollins, he does have a knee injury. I guess he's gonna, as far as we know right now, as far as I know right now, he is just gonna rehab it and try to try to have some sort of a match at WrestleMania. Um, he did admit he injured it while doing a Asai moonsault. Just laying on his knee wrong. They get Friday the 13th. So it is going to be like a. Is it like going to be a new show or something like that? Like the origins of Jason Voorhees. I'm kind of like mixed on that one. I'm not sure if I really want to see that one or not. Def- let's keep that one on the back burner for a few seconds while I get to the wrestler good old wrestling stuff. But yeah, okay, okay, yeah, that's gonna be yeah. The what? He got picked on. He drowned. A year later, after his mommy killed people, or I don't can't can I say kill unalive people. Yeah, I mean if he does jump back in the ring too quick, I mean WrestleMania is April what? Da, 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 da. Let's get on the Google machine here. I forgot what date it is. Whoops. Actually, it's going to be the Saturday, April 6th and 7th. So if he stays off of it, rehabs it a little bit. I mean, try have. I mean, I'm still guessing CM Punk is going to win the Royal Rumble and face Seth Rollins. CM Punk is a pretty safe, safe worker. Yes, I will get to the new 2K game a little later. Uh, CM Punk's a pretty. I mean, Cody is too, but uh, I can almost definitely see if Seth can trying to have at least a match, somewhat of a match against CM Punk at WrestleMania. Uh, if he doesn't lose, there's going to be a cash in, Money in the Bank cash in. Uh, but anyway, yeah, let's stay on WWE. I'll talk about Dark Side later, but WWE 2K24 has announced the cover art for this year's games. The standard game will have Cody Rhodes on the cover. The deluxe edition will have Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley, which I think I said last year. Uh, wouldn't mind seeing them at this year's WrestleMania. Go at it. I think that's. I think Bianca and Rhea Ripley can be a money match. Is it going to be this year? Will it be next year? Who knows? And then you got this, I guess, the super duper quadruple edition WWK or WWE 2K24, 40 years of WrestleMania, which has everybody on the cover. Which brings me, I guess it's still some prestige. I guess I know Joe, you'll probably get the physical copy. I'll probably just download it. Um, I don't know that the 40 years of WrestleMania cover. That I think that one looks awesome. I think they all look good, but that one definitely looks awesome. I might have to. The guy in the hat, that's the Undertaker. I wish I had a pointer. I wish I could. Y'all can't really see my mouse. You got the Undertaker, you got Brock, you got Hogan, Andre, Steve Austin, uh, Bret Hart, John Cena, Roman Reigns, Shawn Michaels, of course Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch. Uh, oh, so you didn't get the hard or the physical copy? I know you're big on physical copies. I used to make fun of you, but I don't think I'll make fun of you no more. Hell, nobody's. I think Best Buy quit at least as far as your DVDs and stuff like that. I don't think they don't sell anymore. But you could probably still get it on Amazon. Uh, I do like that 40 years of WrestleMania cover. I need to make that into a poster. But yeah, I kind of felt that. Oh, I wonder if I can. Let's see. Let me kind of. Well, Booker T. He had that one match with Triple H, which I can't see from here. Let me pull up the picture bigger. And for some reason, my mouse is just going wacky today. Let's see here. Well, they had, yeah, I see Charlotte, Bret Hart. Oh, yeah, they do got Triple H. Why is it doing that? I'm about to, so, yeah, they got Brock, Rock, Undertaker, Austin, Hogan, Andre, Charlotte, Bianca, Becky. Yeah, I don't know if I said Triple H or not already, but yeah, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and of course, acknowledge him, Roman Reigns. But yeah, Cody won the Royal Rumble last year, but he didn't. He wasn't able to finish the story. This year, he's hoping to finish the story. He's up. How can you not be a Gunther fan? Gunther's awesome. See, Gunther's to me, he's almost like a throwback of that, you know, kind of like that Bruiser Brody type, just a go in there and just an ass kicker. Uh, Brody threw around chops a little bit, but he was more famous for the big boot, which I still say if you watch anybody in wrestling, throw especially a big guy, throw a big boot, they should announcer should like pay homage to Bruiser Brody because he's the one who kind of started that. I mean, I could be wrong. Might be somebody before him, but for me, in the '80s, when Bruiser Brody was wrestling, he threw around that what they big kick to the head, big boot. I mean, Hogan did big bootleg drop, but you know Bruiser Brody made it an art form. But Gunther with those chops, oh my gosh! Rewatched last year's Royal Rumble. I think it was last weekend, last weekend. Might have been last Friday. Can't remember when. but anybody who encountered Gunther in that match left with welts all over their chest. Even Cody Rhodes, who just came back from pec surgery. Uh, I guess they say, "Hey, we're gonna test that pec out, kid. The last person you're gonna face is Gunther, and he's gonna chop the crap out of you right on your pec." Uh, Omos. I'm not a big fan of Omos. I don't know, just I don't know. He's just not. I mean, he's a really big guy who's not mobile. But man, I meant to. Let me let's see. I'll keep kind of. But yeah, the big guy. If a big guy's mobile like a Gunther or Bruiser Brody was, uh, actually, I just recorded a classic wrestling reminiscing of the first Royal Rumble, which was my first time watching it ever. Uh, I talked about the 1 minute game being big guy, 400 something pounds, 6'3", 6'4", huge guy. But I mean, not he wasn't an athletic built guy. He looked more like the uh, you know buffet kind of guy. uh, Meat, potatoes, and bread, and I mean lots of meat, lots of potatoes, and a shitload of bread. That was a big old boy, but he could freaking move. Let's see. Whoops, wrong button. Uh, okay, maybe right button. But what is it? I want to say the small guys, maybe average guys. I mean, I do make fun of young bucks a lot, or the not so young bucks, and they're not they're pretty small. I mean, I did like Rey Mysterio back in the day, or especially a lot of those cruiserweights back in the day. Um, were were really. I mean, the flips, the spin, and all that. I mean, that was cool. Uh, I don't want to get too much into it. Let's see here. Oh, that's my ear. Now, how come I can hear that, but I can't hear it through there? Hey, could you guys let me the the intro, the bell salute, and the boom, Adam Cole, baby. No, I will still say if Adam Cole was somewhere between 6 feet and 6'2", he'd be one of the world champions right now, either the Universal Champion or the World Heavyweight Champion, or maybe looking to win a Royal Rumble to challenge Seth or whoever. Because he is pretty good in ring, pretty good talker. But God dang, that dude needs to eat a sandwich. He needs to eat a sandwich, a couple double cheeseburgers, a couple, not T-bone steaks. I'm talking about a good thick porterhouse steak. That's what he needs to eat him. Hit the weight room. He needs some steroids. I mean, he's injured right now. Boo hoo, Adam Cole, baby. Yeah, I mean, nah, I always like Brian Danielson, Daniel Bryan, back to Daniel Bryan, Brian Danielson. I always did like him. I always did like Cal O'Reilly. Like back in the WCW days. Uh, I know it's not popular to say this now. I was a Chris Benoit fan. I did like uh, I did like Dean Malenko, Eddie Guerrero. He was a small guy. Come on, we all cheer Eddie Guerrero. We still all cheer Eddie Guerrero. Um, and all the Guerreros. Okay, maybe not all of them, but definitely Eddie. Eddie was awesome. Let's see, who else was it? Of course, Rey Mysterio. Oh, come on. Well, I mean, there's Adam Cole, but Joe King's a Kofi Kingston fan, and he's literally a little bit of skin, but mostly bones. I mean, talking about a guy who really needs a. I mean, I don't know. You feed that dude a sandwich, you might get sick. But what's some other small guys I used to like? Let's see. Taz was he was a short guy, thick though. But all right, guys. Uh, could y'all let me know how this one, if the sound comes in and how this one plays? Because some reason, if I have it on YouTube, on this regular YouTube, I can hear everything, but on this app here for the live stream, I can't really hear any sound at all. But we're gonna try it because that's what we do. Oh, not that one. There we go. All right.
Cody Rhodes suffered a nightmare tonight.
I think this is how my story ends.
Roman Reigns has done it again.
This is the story of legacy.
Look at the power of Belair.
I got the EST story.
And it might be good as a women.
I'll rip the pages out of your story.
The irresistible force meeting the immovable object. My story started at the very beginning, brother. My story's full of ass whooping.
Steve Austin doing what he does best.
I'll end your story.
This story's not finished.
And I don't get this part right here. Let me back it up. Back it up. Back it up. Oh, back it up. Okay, so it's got the Nightmare Family Pack. It's got Dashing Cody Rhodes, Dusty, Stardust, but no Goldust. I have Superstar Billy Graham. I mean, come on. What about like a Blackjack Mulligan? Or at least, Eddie or Mike Graham. or any of the Wyndhams. I mean, they always kind of consider Rhodes and Wyndham, family, but they throw in Superstar Billy Graham as a Nightmare Family Pack. I mean, come on. Okay, not Ken Wayne. Screw Ken Wayne. He's trash. Google it, kids. You'll see why. Um, I would. He's hilarious. He's funny. I mean, he's a thick guy, but I think he's about as tall as I am. But so yeah, you folks, let me know. Uh, let me know how that video turned out, or was y'all able to see it and hear it? Cause I can't hear it unless I'm on the YouTube, on the actual YouTube site. For some reason I just can't hear. No, I'll have to play with it or do something. That didn't sound right. I have to go play with it. Insert your own jokes there, you sophomore bunch of people. But I sort of look. Definitely. I need to start playing games more. Good, thank you. And you was able to hear it, like the sound and everything. So must be just me. I just can't hear it. Must be. I need to try out my other volumes here. Anyway, but yeah. Uh, I mean, I was actually tempted to go back and play 2K23 because I don't know why I got the. I guess because the conversation last week was talking about old wrestling games, video games, and I was like, you know what? I need to go in there and create Starman, and maybe go in there, uh, maybe play 2K23 and create Starman and create uh, I forgot all the characters from the pro wrestling game. And I still say I don't know if we did talk. We didn't talk enough about Tecmo World Wrestling. That game kicked ass. But but yeah, definitely looking forward to it. As you know, some people got some people got Madden. They look forward to every year. I always look forward to the WWE games. I wish there was other wrestling games, independent wrestling games. I was really hoping AEW's game turned out well, but it didn't. Oh yeah, I'm not sure what day it is, but my birthday is coming up. If anybody really, 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 really wants to surprise me, if all you people right here, you know, want to chip in a few bucks and buy me a PS5, uh, I think they're down to like 450, 500 bucks now. Because I checked them out last night, or yesterday, maybe not last night. Just quick Google search, and you know, I think I seen some as low as like 450, or something around 500. Depends on what kind of bundle you get. But and yes, I know I think I said something about I don't play video games enough to justify buying a PS5, but I can't justify me buying a PS5. But if you folks buy me a PS5, I can justify that. I'm not gonna say no to it. Anyway, uh, anyway, let's hit this one last subject, then we'll just rip it in and talk about anything. I want to talk about Dark Side of the Ring. Oops, I messed stuff up there. Anyway, Dark Side of the Ring, they're gonna have their fifth season, and it looks like the subjects will be the Sandman. Whoops, wrong one. Take two. The Sandman. Whoops. Earthquake. Harley Race, which I know you think Harley Race is like, what's so still owe Karen what? She don't want a PS5. I'll go to Dollar General and buy her one of those Yahtzee game, portable Yahtzee games. That's why I get Karen. But anyway, I didn't really know this about Harley. He was in I mean, I knew he was in a bad car accident, back in his early days. Um, but apparently, his, you know, in that car accident, that one of his real bad car. I think it was snowing that day. He was trying to make it to a town and wound up having an accident. And he lost his wife and unborn kid in that accident. So there's some uh, there's some tales to be told about Harley. Instead of being this again legit badass mofo. Let's see who else are going to talk about. Buff Bagwell, Marcus Buff Bagwell. Uh, there's another guy. I remember watching him when he was a rookie called Fabian, and I think it was Georgia All Star Wrestling at the time. I think it just went from uh, Southern Championship Wrestling from Georgia to Georgia All Star. Uh, Fabian started there, then went to Global and became the Handsome Stranger. Then of course WCW, Marcus Alexander Bagwell, then Buff Bagwell became NWO. Brutus to effing Barber Beefcake. They're gonna talk about him. And I listened to a podcast where Bruce Pritchard, that's something to wrestle with, was talking about the accident, and it's that parasailing accident that crushed his face. I can't blame him. I think I'd be scared too. I mean, a little graphic. Go back and listen to it. Uh, but man, it's pretty bad. I think I'll be scared for anybody to hit me in the head and try and get back in the ring too. Chris Adams. If you want to see a good documentary, I think it might be on. I think it might be on YouTube. I think you can search Gentleman's Choice. Uh, the story of Chris Adams or Gentleman's Choice. I think should one of the first names might pop up as his. Gentleman's Choice, Chris Adams. Try that. Hopefully you won't. Uh, Hogan's weed carrier. Come on, he was Hogan. He could get by with weed. But yeah, Chris Adams. I was just talking about Chris Adams uh, the other week. Definitely had his demons, and came, his end came in a very harsh way. Sensational Sherry, uh, Terry Gordy. I know Joe just mentioned Terry Gordy. This right here was he is starting to hit those prime years, the prime of his career. His UWF champion at the time. He was kind of making it his own in Japan. I think Michael and Buddy always stayed, stateside. He went to Japan and you know got over like Rover there. Like I said, here he's UWF champion. Um, Started being really big hot commodity. Later on, his team was at one time his enemy, Steve Dr. Death Williams in Japan, and they just whooped up on everybody there. Uh, oh gosh, what was it? The chat. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was the Class of Champions. Uh, the one in Fort Bragg, I think. They had a match with Steve Williams and Terry Gordy, and as soon as both of them hit the ring, the crowd popped. As soon as they started throwing hands, the crowd popped. My God, such a waste right there. I mean, how can you bought UWF? You have this talent you could use. I mean, they didn't have guaranteed contracts or anything at that time, but well, I think they started doing guaranteed contracts. At least WCW did, or Jim Crockett did first. Um, But man, you could have had Steve Williams and Steve Dr. Death Williams on your roster full time, and you didn't do it. Oh, how could you? And you wonder why WCW eventually went under. I mean, I need to have a conversation one time. We gotta have a talk about all the wasted potential of WC. I mean, like I said, I mean, yeah, he kept Sting. I mean, Sting did okay. I mean, I ain't gonna say nothing, but you and Doc and Gordy, you could have had them on your roster, and you could have put them together, let them beat the hell out of each other for a couple years. Something happens, they form a team like they did in Japan, and get over. I mean, they had some awesome, what do the kids call it today, bangers with the Steiner brothers. Think of how much more they could have had with Steiner brothers. Uh, and I was actually just talking about this in my Royal Rumble review. The last match on first Royal Rumble was the Islanders against the Young Stallions. Didn't care for Paul Roma, Jim Powers, the Young Stallions. Just mid, generic babyface dudes. Uh, I mean, I did like Paul Roma and Hercules Hernandez as Power of Glory, but the Islanders were pretty freaking good. Haku and Tama. Uh, but at that time, there was just so many great tag teams in the WWF at the time. But yeah, uh, and yes, I remember. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the Eliminators promo where Perry Saturn was going, "We come to Japan, and all we hear about is Doc and Gordy, Doc and Gordy. We're back over here, and all we hear about is Doc and Gordy, Doc and Gordy." And they had a pretty good match in ECW. Um, and that wasn't exactly definitely wasn't prime Terry Gordy. I think he had. I think it was after his second heart attack. I think Mick Foley talked about in his book he wasn't the same Terry Gordy at that time. But Doc, Steve Dr. Death Williams, he more than uh, he did he did a good job of making it work. Let's just say that. Yes, I remember. Doc and Gordy, Doc and Gordy. Eliminators were a hell of a tag team. Rubber Chicks. Whoa! Jimmy Hart passed away? You're kidding me. Oh my gosh. Oh, say it ain't so. Um, I mean, I'm on Google right now. I'm on Google right now, and there's nothing. I don't say anything about I mean, I think I was actually making a joke the other week about Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart was like the Dick Clark of professional wrestling. I mean, notice how Dick Clark like hardly ever aged until uh yeah, like I said, Gordy was in bad shape at that time, but Doc definitely did a great job of kind of covering that up. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see. I just went on Google. Uh, yeah, that rubber chicks. Yeah, I still ain't see nothing. Yeah, I don't see anything posted anything about Jimmy Hart's death. I mean, clicked on Wikipedia. I clicked on news on Jimmy Hart. Even Googled Jimmy Hart's death. The only thing mentioned was Paul Heyman praying for Jimmy Hart's death or something like that. Oh my gosh, Paul Heyman's a savage. Uh, but yeah, so far I don't see anything. Yeah, rubber chicks. This. Let me know where you found that information. I'll look it up. Cause you got. I mean, how many times? I mean, it's the internet. How many times has David Hasselhoff, passed away in the last 2 years, only to be, uh, false? Who's that other guy? They always said, "Oh, he died, but he didn't." I know David Hasselhoff was one of them, but there was somebody else who kind of got infamous about that. But anyway, let's see. So yeah, Dark Side they're gonna do one on Terry Gordy. Like I said, he was Freebirds were probably one of my favorite teams anyway. Group teams, whatever you want to call them. Freaking, Terry Gordy was the ass kicker. Michael Hayes was a talker. Buddy Roberts was a worker, but he kind of uh, Terry Gordy would beat you up. Michael Hayes would run from you, but Buddy Roberts he would fight you, but you kick his ass. uh, let's see what else. This also I'm definitely going to be interested in. They are going to talk about Black Saturday, the day Vince McMahon took over WTBS 17's Georgia Championship Wrestling time slot, or basically bought Georgia Championship Wrestling, um, which was called, which show was called World Championship Wrestling at the time. Yes, uh, once Georgia Championship Wrestling got, nationwide, got big, they kind of did a name switch on the program, called it World Championship Wrestling. Then, of course, was it 80, 83, 84? Crap, can't, can't believe I forgot. Yeah, it was July 14th, 1984. Um, and you gotta understand, this is like, if there's anybody listening, um, would love to, especially who are alive and watching wrestling back then. How did you feel about when you got used to seeing? I think because I remember watching. I got a videotape, VHS videotape, that has like the last 4 to 6 weeks before Black Saturday happened. And I can see if you were watching, I mean, you was watching people like Bob Roop, Ron Garvin at the time. I mean, if you even thought wrestling was real, they almost made you believe it was real, especially like Bob Root and Ron Garvin. But then you watched, then Vince McMahon took over, and you got the feed from his arena shows or whatever. Um, that Yankee stuff looked pretty fake. I want to watch some real wrestling, not that fake wrestling. Uh, I could probably see a lot of people actually saying it just like that, but yeah, I mean, if you're not in the chats right now, but if you're in the comments, man, I'd definitely like to get some feedback on. Probably do a video on this, on at least this episode of Dark Side of the Ring. I know I haven't done videos of any of the Dark Side of the Rings because I guess I started doing this after. I mean, they already had like four seasons and or 3.5 seasons, and I'm already I ain't completed all the videos. I mean, I'm to the last video of the Tales from the Territories, which I still need to do one day. I got everything set up, ready to go. It's just doing it, and I wind up doing the Royal Rumble one. Probably do it this weekend. Like I said, work has really been kicking me in the rear. Uh, which, don't mean to digress, talk about personal stuff, but uh, my supervisor had a heart attack before right, literally right before Christmas, like 2 days before Christmas. He got a checkup today, and he's gonna be good to drive at least. I think he's gonna come back to work Monday, but it's just gonna be office stuff. I mean, he's not gonna run around and do whatever he did, and plus try to supervise, try to be a boss. But so that is definitely good news for him and his family. Um, so he will be. As far as I know, I think he said he's going to be back Monday, uh, but just the fact that he's going, going to be able to drive and get around himself a little bit, it's definitely good news. So anyway, so yeah, uh, to go back while I was talking about Black Saturday, if anybody was around during Black Saturday when it happened, what was your thoughts? You watched, say, like 3 or 4 episodes, and I mean, because you got to remember, '84, we didn't have internet. We didn't know, or they didn't know that was going to happen. Um, it just happened. uh, it's boom. We're no more Tommy Rich, Bob Root, Ted DiBiase, Freebirds, anybody. It's Vince McMahon and who he had there at the time, Hulk Hogan. I think in the studio, I think let's see, that same video had like the first few episodes of the WWF program at the time. Of course, they uh, I forgot what they were advertising, but it had an Atlanta studio, WTVS Studios, Hulk Hogan and Mr. T. I mean, no one did an interview. And I think later on they did have some studio matches. Um, there was one with off the top of my head, a very good match. Technically sound, scientific, very grounded. Mr. Wrestling 2 against Les Thornton. I don't know if I can share that. I probably won't try to share it this time, but that was a good match. That was in the studios. But they had most of their stars at the time. But definitely gonna be interested to see this. Uh, you don't see nothing. Oh, still talking about the Jimmy Hart thing. Sorry, I'm late for that party. But yeah, like I said, I kind of want to get people who were around back then, their take on it and what their thoughts were. I did read Ole Anderson's book. He he was still, so I know but now he's got in bad shape. He's got MS. Wonder if they'll talk to him about it. The only thing I don't like about some of the stuff they do, they kind of get a one-sided view of things. But hopefully, with the new owners and everything of Vice TV, they'll quit doing that. Who knows? And going to do one on Chris Colt, which, last night I was like, I recognize that name. I think he wrestled some in Continental. Apparently, he was a very good worker. The research I was doing on him, very good worker. As good. They said as good as let's see, what's his name? Uh, let's see. What's his name? It crossed my mind. I can't. Ray Stevens. They said he was probably about as good as Nick Bonquigle and Ray Stevens. I mean, Ray Stevens was go on YouTube again. I say it a lot of times. Uh, they say it is true. I mean, Ray Stevens was, man. He was a bump taker. He was doing the going to a turnbuckle, doing a turnbuckle flip way before Ric Flair was doing it. But I think he had some success in the uh, 60s, 70s. Last thing I kind of seen of him was in Portland. He was kind of pretty much a job guy, I think. But it is dark side of the ring, and did read some stuff about him where he was a. I think he said. I think if I remember correctly, I think one uncle said he was an open homosexual, and he liked to party a lot, liked to drink, liked to do drugs. I think there was a match, some kind of cage match or something like that, where he had a bad acid. He took acid for the match and had a bad trip during the match, where he supposedly seen spiders, jumped out of the cage, swatting at invisible spiders. So that that definitely sounds like an interesting story. Uh,
Cody Rhodes suffered a nightmare tonight.
but yeah, as far as the Jimmy Hart thing, what popped up there, I still have not seen anything. Kind of talking and looking at the same time, but still have not seen anything about Jimmy Hart. Um, yeah, still, uh, yeah, still nothing. Oh, oh yeah, we definitely gonna talk about. I still say, it's gonna be CM Punk. Um, yeah, can't go a whole show without picking who you think will win the Rumble. I still say it's gonna be CM Punk. Uh, because from what I've been reading, um, or just this from what I gather, it is going to be CM Punk against Seth Rollins. So if they're going to do Cody against Roman Reigns again, I guess I'll let Cody earn it at the Elimination Chamber. I mean, I'm not trying to knock CM Punk, but he has shown to be quite injury prone, and I think winning the Rumble will be easier on him, body wise, than trying to go into Elimination Chamber and try to do some crazy chamber spots. Cody might. I mean, depends on who he's there with. I mean, depends on who's all going to be in the Elimination Chamber match. You'll definitely Cody's going to make sure he's going to be. Uh, uh, he's not going to miss out on it. I mean, don't know what the exact plans are as far as Cody and the Rumble. Now maybe the Rock. So, hey, who knows? It might, Rock might piss everybody off and draw number 30 and eliminate both Cody and CM Punk, and he goes against Roman Reigns, and then there you go. You got CM Punk and Cody Rhodes both in the Elimination Chamber, and I would imagine CM Punk might win that, but realistically, Rumble, I'm picking CM Punk. Like I said, fantasy booking, that's the way I do it. And now with Seth Rollins, I mean, they didn't do my fantasy booking thing. I mean, but see, that's the best way you can appease both of them. You let Punk win the Rumble, because Cody's already won. He won last year's Rumble, so I don't think it would hurt anything for him to earn that spot in Elimination Chamber. So with that, you're still appeasing both of them. They're still going to get their match. Still, the plan is Cody facing Roman Reigns at because that kind of gives. See, you have CM Punk win, and he chooses Seth Rollins. So that give because Cody's bound and determined to finish the story. He said, "Look, I want to enter Elimination Chamber. I want to finish my story." So because you got CM Punk on Raw right now, so that does definitely free up. You don't need Cody on Raw. I mean, if I was a booker or whatever, yeah, I would definitely want both on my card. But it's WWE; it's all the same thing. So Cody can easily be the star on SmackDown. That way, he can beat an Elimination Chamber match, beat Roman Reigns, and unless they do something crazy, I'm realistically picking Dom. And I will say it. I forgot who won. That was going to be one of the subjects I talked about tonight, but it totally slipped my mind. I was going to talk about the PWI awards. Because as a kid, I used to love the PWI award, double year-end edition magazines. I ain't read one in years, or I ain't even picked up a wrestling magazine in God knows how long. But I don't think he won Dominic Mysterio won most hated, but I'm eating crow on this one. Dominic Mysterio has definitely improved this year. I mean, I went from comparing him to George Goulas. I threw him in a comparison of George Goulas and Greg Gagne. I mean, nothing against Greg Gagne. Greg Gagne was okay worker, but he just, mid, mid at best. Probably would have been a jobber if it wasn't working for Vern, his dad, in his own promotion. Um, but but definitely wasn't world title material or anything like that. And Vern knew it. That's why he never did put his title on his kid. He put it on his son-in-law, Larry Zbyszko, but he didn't put it on Greg Gagne. He said, "Here you go, Greg. You're the international television champion." Oh yeah, we're going out of business. um, but but yeah, I will say, I mean, in ring and everything, Dominique Mysterio has definitely improved. Nah, hate him, whatever. He has definitely improved. Hopefully, I mean, I still say, at some point he's going, the whole mommy Rhea Ripley thing. I know they listed the winners on whatever website, so I'm pretty sure it is out. Good luck finding it. I mean, I'm telling the truth. I don't think I've seen a wrestling magazine. He only has agility on the ropes. It's like climbing monkey bars in the playground when he's in the ring. Uh, well, I mean, his dad was his dad was Rey Mysterio, and Rey Mysterio is probably the most groundbreaking high flyer of this generation or his generation. I mean, he's past that prime now, but trust me, like I said, I was comparing Dominique to George Schoolis. It was pretty bad, and I watched a YouTube video and seen him, and he was pretty bad. Um, and Greg Gagne, I mean, see, even a kid, I just did not care for Greg Gagne. I mean, no matter how much you know they put him as a baby face or whatever, I was like, eh. When I was watching AEW at the time, I think definitely like Kurt Hennig. Uh, even though Nick Bockwinkel was, you know, pretty old at the time, ready to retire, kind of dug him. Uh, Especially when he was they kind of did the same thing that a lot of territories did. He was, a baby face at that time, uh, late '80s, and in the AWA, but he'll still come to Memphis and be a heel, and Nick Bonwheel's pretty good heel. Um, but let's see, who else I like in the AW? Midnight Rockers, of course. Um, Kurt Hennig. I'm drawing a blank of the whole roster. There's a lot of people just coming in and out. Bad Company, of course. Paul Diamond and Pat Tanaka. Oh, he's getting there. He's definitely making his own name. I mean, he might have the Mister. He's Dominic is definitely coming to his own. Uh, I think within the next year or two, he's gonna have to quit doing the whole, you know, Eddie Guerrero shimmy and some of his moves. And he he needs to get his own little finisher, maybe. I mean, won't be nothing wrong with him using a fall splash. No big deal. Um, but you know, tone up a little bit, and because eventually, like I said, the whole Judgment Day, mommy, it's going to come to an end, and he don't want this. I think he's talent too. At this point, he's going to be too talented to be, you know, mixed or lost in the shuffle. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to be a future world champion or anything. Maybe uh, long reigns of as Intercontinental or U.S. champion, or finds another partner and becomes multi-time tag team champion. Eventually, he's going to turn babyface. Mitch Snow, is that the guy who like messed himself in the ring? I can't remember. Uh, yeah, I didn't care for Mitch Snow. God, that's a name from a. That's definitely a name from the past. Uh, uh, who's his name? Kinetsky. Kelly Kinetsky. Kelly Kinetsky. Before he was Nails, I thought he was pretty decent. I forgot his partner's name. They were both pretty decent. DJ Peterson was pretty decent. Looked too much like Magnum TA though. But he did his own stuff. I mean, like he, did a belly to belly. He just or anything like that. He kind of did his own stuff. I thought him and JT Southern made an okay team. Um, let's see. I mean, it did surprise me. They did turn Kurt Hennig heel, but he made a he made a very good heel. And it's just kind of. I mean, there's a lot of things that kind of caused AWA go downhill at the time. Larry Zbyszko, I thought he was obnoxious. You wanted to boo him. He was pretty cool. Um, uh, well, I mean, when I first started watching wrestling, the Road Warriors were there. Then they went to Jim Crockett, and the Road Warriors were, especially at that time, awesome. Yeah, I think there was. I don't know if it was like on TV or something like that, or I think it was in the AWA where he took a slam or something like that, and he messed himself or got excited and messed himself. I don't know how he messed himself. He messed himself up some way. It could have been any way. Use your own judgment or imagination on that one. Um, and their one announcer, he just sounded like an old fogey. But like I said, AWA was AWA. It was okay. The best thing about AWA at the time, really, uh, they had Memphis as one of their territories. Memphis was awesome. uh, who cares who the AWA champion was? Jerry Lawler was an AWA Southern champion. And I don't know. Like I said, Kurt Hennig was a good world champion for them. But, he obviously seen the writing on the wall and which, by the way, speaking of the AWA, one of the first reminiscing video, or I didn't call it Classic Wrestling Reminiscing. I didn't give it a name yet. I did a review on Tales of the Territories, the AWA. Check it out. It's like one of my first videos. Is first video I actually got more than 1,000 views. I think I got 1,700 views on that one, I believe. Don't know how. Had a lot of comments. Of course, I think some of the comments coming from talking about the AWA figures at the time, because when I was a kid at the time, I thought the AWA figures were awesome, and the WWF big, bulky rubber figures were, not that good. But the AWA figures, I mean, even though they look like He-Man figures, which yes, I booked that match when I was 10 years old. Ric Flair versus He-Man. Of course, Ric Flair threw He-Man over top rope, got disqualified, kept the title. But I did have him go against Men of Arms. Uh, there's an accidental ref bump. Man of Arms pinned Ric Flair. Another referee came in, but I had to get the title back because the first referee disqualified Ric Flair for bumping him. So anytime you use Ric Flair, you gotta do dusty finishes. Everybody knew that as a kid. You playing as Ric Flair, dusty finish. Except we didn't know what the dusty finish was. We just thought he just got disqualified, and for some reason ref always Tommy Young, that clumsy, that MFer, he was always at the wrong place at the wrong time when there was a Ric Flair match. Jake the Milkman Milliman. Oh, wasn't he the $1 million tag team challenge champion or something like that? He got $1 million, like him and Sergeant Slaughter. Now, I will say I think I did say this in that video too. The biggest memory of mine of the AWA at that time was the angle with Colonel De Beers and Jimmy Superfly Snuka, where Colonel De Beers or Jimmy Snuka was going for a Superfly Splash. Then Colonel De Beers shut him off the top rope and onto the floor. And Colonel De Beers gave him that face first pile driver. That's what they call it at the time. It was basically a pedigree, but except for he didn't hook the arms, he just picked him up and kind of like the Cesaro move. But he didn't. He just picked him up pile driver and just shut his face down. He didn't hook the arms, didn't hook the cradle him or anything. Just picked him up, drop him face first, and poor Snuka cracked his melon and was a bloody mess. That's like the biggest memory of that time I had of the AWA. And of course, the Midnight Rockers against Doug Summers and what's his name? Buddy Rose was. Yeah, Jake Millman finally got that big push at the end of the AWA. The Patriot, Dale Wilkes, was called the Trooper at the time. Him and DJ Peterson was the last AWA World Tag Team Champions. Larry Zbyszko was the last AWA World Champion. Of course, we didn't know at the time that Larry Zbyszko was Vern Gagne's son-in-law. But thanks to the internet, we learned a lot of things. Yeah, see, Snuka was a bloody mess. And yeah, I was just thinking about the bloody mess of Midnight Rockers were in that match against Doug Summers and Buddy Rose. Playboy Buddy Rose. I didn't know one time for an angle he actually married Matt Bourne's sister. I watched the Portland thing, and see Portland we didn't get like full Portland episodes. We got like one or two matches and maybe a little bit of news from um, PWI and the wrestling magazines. Yeah, Playboy Buddy Rose, the Blowaway Diet, the one he did in WWF. Yeah, he was kind of a job guy there, and that dude took some bumps, man. Because like I was just mentioning, he was a big star in Portland, and just some of the highlights they showed on there, man. That dude took some hella bumps for a guy his size. Kind of like Ray Stevens. Ray Stevens wasn't a small guy. I mean, he wasn't a body guy, of course. He, beer, steak, potato diet. But dude can freaking. Ray Stevens could freaking go. There's a match I think it's Ray Stevens, Nick Bockwinkel against What's that guy's name? Now, what's that guy's name? Not Les Thornton. It might have been Les Thornton that match too. Who was that guy's name? He was in that also in that movie. The wrestler. What's his name? What's his name? What's his name? Well, it might have been Tony Charles and what's this guy? That guy's name? Okay, I thought he was a world champion one time. Might have been a world tag team champion one time. Sorry, folks. You know how I like to Google sometimes. Uh, can't think of the guy's name. What's that guy's name? It's like off the tip of my tongue. Billy Robinson, that's it. Billy Robinson. Yeah, it might have been Billy Robinson and yeah, because it was like on TV. Could have been Vern Gagne. Vern Gagne and Billy Robinson against Nick Bockwinkel, Ray Stevens. And I think it was in their studio, or whatever. But that match could probably if it would everybody didn't look so dated, that match could possibly hold up today. Oh, speaking of AEW people at the time, can't forget about Mr. Electricity, Steve Regal, and gorgeous Jimmy Garvin, Scott Hall, and Kurt Hennig. Yeah, kind of everybody kind of found her after that. Yeah, it's kind of like what I was saying earlier about all the young talent WCW had at the time. They just didn't know how to develop them. It's almost like I don't know. I mean, they pushed and groomed Roman Reigns for so many years. I mean, I guess they really ain't found their guy yet to take. I mean, I guess might be Cody. I'm pretty sure Braun Breaker might be that guy in the future. Oh, Rick Steiner's son. But anyway, I think it's about time for me to call it a night for the night. Appreciate all you people showing up in the chat. I will keep looking to the Jimmy Hart deal. I still haven't seen not one bit of news uh, whatsoever about uh, his passing. All I see now is he's, you know, I'm pretty sure news can get out pretty quickly. Uh, especially a legend like him, Jimmy Hart. Uh, dude was a mainstay for Memphis forever. Uh, yeah, Baron von Raschke. Yeah, I think I seen. I'm trying to remember. I think I seen Baron very shortly in AWA. Then he also popped up in Jim Crockett Promotions, being part of Paul Jones's army. Then he went babyface and teamed with or was on the side of Jimmy Valiant, and Jimmy or uh, Jimmy Boogie Woogie Valiant's almost endless war with. I mean, I know that feud lasted forever. In Jim Crockett Promotions. well, I mean, not forever ever. I think it finally came to a close in probably 87. Uh, basically, I guess 80, yeah, 87, right before 88, maybe kind of like lost track of Paul Jones. And yeah, I mean, either they're trolling or just got some, I mean, because you just got these sites will just announce people's death. And I mean, like I said, how many times has, uh, let's see, who's the one famous guy? Yeah, how many times is how many times is what's his name? Yeah, Paul McCartney. How many times has he's been dead? Sean Connery has passed on, but Tom Cruise and all sorts of people who just uh, some site reported on their death and it wasn't true. But like I said, we'll keep at it. Uh, and if he does, we'll definitely talk about Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart is definitely a legend as far as uh, yeah, it was forever. But I mean, even though Jimmy Valiant was like a kind of a kind of a comedy guy, he knew even during that feud, he knew when to get serious. Like when he lost the hair versus hair match, you know, and everybody's like, "Oh no, don't do it. He cheated or whatever." He, got serious and lifted the camera, angry eyes, and people pop for that stuff. You just can't buy that kind of passionate, people buying into people's characters like that again. Not today. I mean, Cody works. CM Punk. I mean, people like him, then they'll probably hate him within the next 3 months. Um, Swerve Strickland. They need AEW needs to handle that with you know uh they don't just throw him in there and make him champion because he's popular now. Just and you don't have to slowly build it up, but let it build up. I mean, he's uh I guess him and the Rhinestone Cowboy is going to have another match. Why, I have no idea. But like I said, anyway, going to call it a night. Uh, Appreciate you folks watching. Appreciate you people chatting. And like I said, uh, Rubber Chicks, I'll definitely trying to find anything about Jimmy Hart, but more than likely got the wrong information. uh, which is a good thing. Don't want to hear about any more about people's passing. Uh, occasionally happen, but like I said, he's kind of like a Dick Clark of professional wrestling. He won't age till it's almost that time. Like Dick Clark did. It's like he went from, you know, 45 to 99. Right? You know, I forgot how old he was when he passed away, but he looked 99. Uh, right before he passed. Um, yeah, yeah, the one with Paul Jones and uh, Paul Jones. I'm gonna shave your head, and people gonna call you a bald-headed geek. Uh, Sorry, I do terrible impressions. I try to do Dusty Rhodes, if you will, baby. Anyway, there's an interesting question. Let me play. If go back to watch this week's uh Wrestling Trivia Tuesday. There's a interesting question about Dusty Rhodes and an interesting revealing about what from that time to 45 years later. Okay, it's not that big of a deal, but I'll try to make it sound like a big deal so you go watch that video. Uh, but like I said, gonna call it a night. Um, uh, Getting close to 10 o'clock, and gotta work tomorrow. Got another busy day, busy week. But I appreciate everybody watching. Appreciate everybody watching live. If you're watching this after the fact, appreciate you folks watching. Appreciate everybody participating in the chat. Like I said, next week, it's bell time, 8 o'clock Thursday. Well, I'll be here. So everybody come in, join the fun. Also, share this video along with any other of my videos. Hit the like button. Um, comment afterwards if you want to. And also, if this is your first time watching, be a champion. Hit that subscribe button. Until then, everybody have a good week. Stay safe. Everybody have a good one, and